The sky over Earth was unremarkable the day the Threx Dominion arrived. No cataclysmic light shows, no loud proclamations of superiority. Their sleek, crescent-shaped ships silently slid into orbit, eclipsing the sun in several cities, casting their shadows over an unsuspecting world. In the control room of the International Space Defense Alliance, ISDA, General Marcus Holt stood tense, arms crossed. "Anything yet?" he asked, his gravelly voice betraying the calm demeanor he was trying to maintain. "Nothing, sir," replied Lieutenant Bryce, seated before a wall of monitors. "No communication, no signals. They're just watching." For 3 days, the alien fleet loomed silently, causing mass hysteria below. News anchors speculated endlessly, governments scrambled to establish contact, and conspiracy theories flooded social media. Then, on the 4th day, the message came. A massive holographic projection lit up the sky above major cities. A Threx emissary, tall and insectoid, with chitinous plating and glowing red eyes, addressed humanity. Its voice was mechanical, cold, and precise. "Humans, your world now belongs to the Threx Dominion. Resistance is futile. Submit, and your species may survive. Resist, and you will be eradicated." The broadcast looped 3 times before vanishing, leaving humanity reeling. Across the world, panic broke out. But in a few corners of society, boardrooms, laboratories, and military bunkers, plans were already forming. The Threx did not waste time. On the 5th day, their attack began with the release of Strain 37, a bioweapon engineered to dismantle immune systems with devastating efficiency. It spread invisibly, a silent assassin carried by the wind. Within hours, hospitals overflowed with patients exhibiting symptoms that baffled doctors: fever, hemorrhaging, and organ failure. Dr. Evelyn Kerr, a molecular biologist specializing in human genetics, worked frantically in her New York lab. Her team had been studying the virus since its release. "This thing is rewriting cellular structures," Evelyn said, her voice tight with fear. "It's like it was made specifically to dismantle us." But 3 days after the first cases, something unprecedented happened. Patients who were near death began to recover. Their symptoms reversed, their vitals stabilized, and their immune systems returned stronger than before. This isn't normal," Evelyn said as she reviewed the data. "It's not just immunity. Their DNA is adapting to the virus." The same reports came from around the globe. The Threx watched with growing confusion from orbit. General Zynex, the leader of the invasion fleet, stared at the data feed projected before him. "Impossible," he muttered. "No species evolves this quickly." Frustrated by the failure of Strain 37, the Threx deployed their neuro-override nodes, devices designed to emit frequencies that suppressed higher brain functions. The goal was simple: pacify humanity, strip away their resistance, and create a compliant slave species. Entire city blocks fell silent as the nodes activated. People dropped what they were doing, their eyes glazed over, moving mechanically like marionettes. For a brief moment, it seemed the Threx had succeeded, but within hours, resistance emerged. In a Seattle neighborhood, a rogue hacker named Sci-Fi, operating from an underground bunker, managed to intercept and scramble the neural signals. "If they want to hack our brains," Sci-Fi broadcasted on pirate radio, "we'll hack right back." Sci-Fi's program spread like wildfire across underground networks, allowing humans to resist the nodes. But something even more shocking began to occur. Some individuals started resisting the devices without external aid. Their brains developed new neural pathways, naturally counteracting the alien signals. Evelyn Kerr's lab buzzed with activity as her team studied these individuals. "They're not just adapting physically," Evelyn said. "Their brains are rewiring themselves. This is unprecedented." The Threx, monitoring from orbit, were stunned. "They're turning our weapons against us," Zynex snarled. "Prepare the ground forces." Threx ground forces landed in coordinated assaults, targeting major population centers. The soldiers were imposing figures, 8 feet tall, encased in biomechanical armor that enhanced their already formidable strength. Their plasma weapons vaporized anything in their path. The first battles were massacres. In New York, Tokyo, and Berlin, human forces were overwhelmed. But even amid defeat, humanity showed sparks of resistance. In Berlin, a group of unarmed civilians led by Anna Wexler, a schoolteacher, managed to ambush an alien patrol. Using improvised explosives and their wits, they disabled the soldiers' armor, capturing weapons and tech. Meanwhile, in Denver, Commander Marcus Holt orchestrated a daring counter-offensive. Using guerrilla tactics, his forces lured alien patrols into ambushes, scavenging alien tech and learning to use it against them. Reports of humans exhibiting enhanced reflexes, strength, and resistance to alien plasma weapons began to spread. Evelyn's analysis revealed the truth. Exposure to alien weapons and pathogens was triggering rapid genetic adaptations. "We're becoming something else," she told Holt during a secure call. "But we don't know the limits of this." As the Threx doubled down, humanity began to unite in ways it hadn't in centuries. World leaders, scientists, and military strategists formed the Human Evolutionary Defense Alliance, HEDA. Evelyn Kerr and Marcus Holt became its figureheads, combining science and strategy to weaponize humanity's newfound adaptability. Sci-Fi's hacks gave humanity the ability to disrupt alien communications, while scavenged Threx technology was reverse-engineered to bolster Earth's defenses. In Texas, Anna Wexler's militia grew into a movement called the Revenants, a faction embracing humanity's monstrous potential. In orbit, General Zynex watched as his invasion faltered. "Humans were supposed to be primitive," he hissed. "Instead, they are evolving into a threat." The first major victory came in the Battle of San Francisco. Using hybrid human-alien tech, Marcus Holt's forces managed to disable an entire Threx battalion, forcing a retreat. It was a turning point, and the world celebrated. But Evelyn Kerr remained cautious. "We're playing with fire," she warned. "We don't know where this evolution will take us." As humanity adapted, side effects began to emerge. Individuals exposed to alien pathogens and tech began exhibiting erratic behavior, hyperaggression, heightened senses, and, in rare cases, physical mutations. The Revenants embraced these changes, seeing them as humanity's next step. Evelyn worked tirelessly to understand the phenomenon, but time was running out. The Threx prepared their next move, the deployment of the Biovortex, a device designed to destabilize entire ecosystems. Meanwhile, factions within humanity began to splinter. The Revenants, led by the charismatic Ezekiel Kaine, clashed with HEDA, pushing for unrestricted evolution. "We're not just surviving," Kaine declared. "We're becoming gods." The Threx Dominion, humiliated by humanity's continued resistance, initiated their most devastating strategy yet. The Biovortex, a planetary destabilization device, was deployed in key regions. It emitted an invisible wave of energy that disrupted ecosystems and amplified extreme weather patterns. Within hours, nature turned on itself. Forests in the Amazon ignited without warning, floods consumed entire towns in coastal regions, and the Arctic experienced violent heat waves, causing massive ice collapses. In a meeting room deep within the Human Evolutionary Defense Alliance, HEDA bunker, General Marcus Holt slammed his fist on the table. "We're fighting two wars now, against the Threx and our own planet." Dr. Evelyn Kerr, seated nearby, looked pale. "It's worse than we thought," she said, pointing to a holographic map. "The Biovortex isn't just destabilizing the environment, it's accelerating human evolution. We're adapting to the changes, but not uniformly. Some populations are mutating at alarming rates." Across the world, reports flooded in of strange occurrences. Villagers in Nepal developing resistance to extreme cold and climbing impossible mountain passes barefoot. Fishermen off the coast of Alaska developing larger lung capacities, able to dive deeper and stay underwater longer. In the swamps of Louisiana, a group of survivors grew webbed fingers and enhanced night vision, thriving in flooded areas. Holt leaned forward. "What happens if this keeps going?" Evelyn hesitated. "We could lose what makes us human." As humanity continued to adapt, divisions deepened. The Revenants, led by Ezekiel Kaine, began to gain more followers. Kaine, once a military officer, now had a physical presence that matched his rhetoric. He stood taller than most men, his eyes glowing faintly in the dark. "This isn't a curse," Kaine declared in a broadcast. "It's evolution's gift. Why fight it?" In Texas, Kaine's forces clashed with Hyda's units. Revenant soldiers, faster and stronger than normal humans, overwhelmed their opponents, even using captured alien technology to bolster their growing arsenal. Evelyn and Marcus debated how to respond. "We can't treat them as enemies," Evelyn said. "They're still human." "Barely," Holt retorted. "They're threatening our survival by embracing chaos." Meanwhile, in a remote bunker in Eastern Europe, Sci-Fi watched the chaos unfold through a series of hacked feeds. "They're tearing themselves apart," Sci-Fi muttered, running calculations on potential outcomes. "If we don't unify soon, we'll do the Threx's job for them." Unbeknownst to humanity, the escalating conflict had caught the attention of the Galactic Concord, an interstellar coalition tasked with maintaining peace across the galaxy. In their crystalline council chamber, Ambassador Zyros, a shimmering being of light, addressed the gathered representatives. "The Threx have failed," Zyros said, their voice resonating like a symphony. "But humanity's unchecked evolution poses a greater threat to galactic stability. If they cannot control themselves, we must intervene." Some factions within the Concord advocated for immediate action, fearing humanity's potential. Others argued for diplomacy. "They're a young species," one representative said. "Give them a chance to prove themselves." The Concord deployed observation ships to monitor Earth, cloaking them to avoid detection. However, humans, led by Sci-Fi's advanced satellite network, soon noticed the anomalies. Kaine's Revenants expanded their influence, capturing cities and converting survivors to their cause. Their slogan, "Embrace the Change," became a rallying cry for those who believed humanity's evolution was a necessary step forward. In a captured alien facility in New Mexico, Revenant scientists reverse-engineered Threx bioweapons, enhancing human biology even further. The results were terrifying. Soldiers with skin capable of deflecting plasma weapons, enhanced vision and hearing that allowed them to detect ambushes before they happened, near superhuman strength, with some individuals lifting vehicles to clear debris. But Evelyn Kerr discovered a darker side to these changes. "Their DNA is unstable," she told Holt during a midnight briefing. "The more they adapt, the more they lose control. Aggression spikes. Paranoia sets in." Holt shook his head. "They're becoming the very thing we're trying to stop." The Galactic Concord's observation revealed the full extent of Earth's turmoil. Ambassador Zyros appeared in holographic form above Earth, addressing both Hyda and the Revenants. "Humans of Earth," Zyros began, their crystalline form glowing faintly. "Your unchecked evolution endangers the galaxy. You must stabilize your species or face containment." Kaine's response was immediate and defiant. "Containment? You fear us because we're stronger than you. You claim to preserve peace, but you're just another oppressor." Hyda, meanwhile, scrambled to present a united front. Holt and Evelyn argued fiercely. "We need to show them we can handle this," Evelyn said. "And what if we can't?" Holt countered. "What if Kaine's right, and we're already too far gone?" The biovortex intensified, triggering global catastrophes. In the Pacific, a series of megastorms sank entire islands. In the Sahara, temperatures dropped below freezing, creating flash deserts of ice. Humans continued to adapt, but the mutations grew more extreme. Evelyn and her team raced against time to develop a genetic stabilizer, a serum designed to halt the rapid adaptations without undoing the changes already made. But the Revenants infiltrated Hyda's labs, stealing key components. The climax of the chapter unfolds as Holt leads a desperate mission to recover the stabilizer. In a brutal firefight in the ruins of Los Angeles, Hyda forces clash with Revenants. Holt confronts Kaine for the first time, the two men trading blows amidst the chaos. "You're playing God," Holt growled, pinning Kaine against a wall. And you're clinging to a past that's already dead, Kaine spat back, his glowing eyes narrowing. Face it, Marcus. Humanity has outgrown you. With the stabilizer in hand, Evelyn reaches out to the Galactic Concord, proposing a temporary truce. Zyros agrees, but demands proof that humanity can control its evolution. Kaine, seeing an opportunity, declares a ceasefire with Hedda. We're not the enemy, he tells Evelyn, in a rare moment of vulnerability. But if you force us to stop evolving, you'll doom us all. The chapter ends with the stage set for the final confrontation. The Threx, desperate and vengeful, preparing one last attack, the Revenants pushing for complete freedom, and Hedda struggling to hold everything together. In a desperate bid to reclaim their dominance, the Threx deploy their ultimate weapon, the planetary decimator, a colossal device capable of triggering chain reactions in Earth's core. Designed as a failsafe, the decimator was meant to render a planet uninhabitable if its inhabitants became uncontrollable. From orbit, General Zynex addressed the galaxy in a broadcast that echoed through human and Concord systems alike. Humanity's unchecked evolution threatens the stability of all. If the Galactic Concord will not act, the Threx will. On Earth, Dr. Evelyn Kerr and her team worked frantically in a subterranean bunker, decoding the decimator's signals. They're not just destabilizing the planet, Evelyn realized, her voice trembling. They're planning to collapse the core. Earth could become another asteroid belt. At the same time, the Revenants, led by Ezekiel Kaine, intercepted part of the signal. They want to destroy us because they fear us, Kaine declared. Then we'll show them why they should be afraid. For the first time since the invasion began, a fragile alliance formed between Hedda and the Revenants. In a tense meeting inside the remnants of a New York skyscraper, General Holt and Kaine faced each other. This isn't about ideologies anymore, Holt said. If we don't stop the decimator, there won't be a planet left to argue over. Kaine leaned forward, his glowing eyes piercing. We'll fight beside you, but don't think for a second I'll let you control what we're becoming. With the Galactic Concord's observation fleet still circling above, Ambassador Zyros appeared via hologram, offering limited support. We cannot condone your evolution, Zyros said, but the destruction of Earth would destabilize the galaxy. Our fleets will hold the Threx at bay, while you neutralize the decimator. The decimator was housed within the Threx mothership, Zynex Prime, orbiting just outside Earth's atmosphere. A joint strike team of Hedda soldiers and Revenants launched an assault on the mothership, using hybridized human-alien technology to breach its defenses. The mission unfolded in chaos. Sci-Fi, from an orbital command post, hacked into Threx systems to disable turrets and create temporary safe corridors. Kaine, leading the Revenant forces, carved a path through the Threx soldiers, his enhanced strength and agility turning him into a force of nature. Holt coordinated tactical maneuvers, ensuring the team advanced without unnecessary losses. Inside the decimator chamber, Evelyn and her team worked frantically to disarm the device. The core is linked to their ship's AI, Evelyn muttered. If we disable it too soon, it'll trigger an automated detonation. As Evelyn worked, Revenant operatives, led by Kaine, engaged Threx elites in brutal hand-to-hand combat. The chamber became a battlefield, plasma bolts streaking past as the countdown clock on the decimator ticked dangerously close to zero. As Evelyn neared completion, disaster struck. Threx reinforcements arrived, overwhelming the strike team. Sci-Fi, monitoring from orbit, sent a desperate warning. You've got incoming, 5 minutes max. In the chaos, Kaine made a fateful decision. Using his heightened abilities, he created a diversion, drawing Threx forces away from Evelyn and Holt. Get it done, he shouted over the comms. Kaine's actions bought the team precious time, but it came at a cost. Overwhelmed by Threx soldiers, he fell, his glowing eyes dimming as he collapsed. His final words echoed in Evelyn's ears. This is the future I chose. With seconds to spare, Evelyn disarmed the decimator. The chamber fell silent as the countdown stopped at 003. Exhausted and battered, the team retreated, carrying Kaine's body. Back on Earth, The alliance between Heda and the Revenants began to fracture. The Galactic Concord's intervention brought new challenges as they demanded humanity surrender control of its evolution. Evelyn, addressing a council of human leaders and Concord representatives, argued for humanity's autonomy. "We've proven we can adapt, but we've also shown restraint. What we need isn't control, it's understanding." The Concord, divided on how to proceed, agreed to monitor Earth under strict conditions. Ambassador Zyros, addressing the Galactic Assembly, warned, "Humanity's potential is both its greatest strength and its greatest threat. The galaxy must watch closely." Evelyn and her team finally perfected the genetic stabilizer, a serum capable of halting uncontrolled evolution. But the choice to use it sparked fierce debate. Holt advocated for its deployment, arguing that humanity needed to retain its core identity. Sci-Fi suggested limited use, allowing controlled evolution for specific scenarios. A faction of former Revenants, inspired by Kaine's sacrifice, argued against it entirely, believing humanity's strength lay in its ability to evolve without limits. In a globally broadcast address, Evelyn presented the stabilizer as an option, not a mandate. "Humanity has always thrived on choice. This is no different. The future is ours to shape." Years later, Earth rebuilt itself, balancing its newfound adaptability with caution. Former Revenants integrated into society, their enhanced abilities reshaping industries and innovation. The Galactic Concord lifted its quarantine, but maintained diplomatic oversight. Evelyn, now a global leader in evolutionary science, reflected on humanity's journey. "We were overlooked because we seemed ordinary, but it's our imperfection that makes us extraordinary." As humanity prepared to explore the stars, whispers of Kaine's legacy lingered. Small groups continued to experiment with unrestricted evolution, believing Kaine's vision of humanity's future had yet to be realized. The final scene shows a hybrid Terran alien starship launching into the void, its crew a mix of unaltered humans and enhanced individuals. The message was clear: humanity's story was just beginning.